Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Hemang Mati, when you're ready, you can start, Mati.
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Today we are reading Canto 4, Chapter 8, Text 1 to 11. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narotamam Deving Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Text 1. The great sage Maitreya said the four great Kumaras, sages headed by Sanaka, as well as Narada, Rivu, Hamsa, Aruni, and Yati, all sons of Brahma, did not live at home, but became Urdhava Reta or Naishtika Brahmacharis, unadulterated celibates. Another son of the Lord Brahma was irreligion, whose wife name was Falsity. From their combination were born two demons named Dambha or bluffing and Maya or cheating. These two demons were taken by a demon named Nirti who had no children. Maitreya told Vidura, O great soul, from Dambha and Maya were born greed and Nikriti or cunning. From their combination came children named Krodha, anger, and Ahimsa, envy, and from their combination were born Kali and his sister Durukti, harsh speech. Text 4. O great of all good men, by the combination of Kali and harsh speech were born children named Mrityu, death, and Viti, fear. From the combination of Mrityu and Viti came children named Yatana, excessive pain, and Niraya, hell. Text 5. My dear Vidura, I have summarily explained the causes of devastation. One who hears this description 3 times attends piety and washes the sinful contamination from his soul. Maitreya continued, O best of Kuru dynasty, I shall now describe to you the descendants of Swayambhu Manu, who was born of a part of a planetary expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Swayambhu Manu had 2 sons by his wife, Satarupa, and the name of the son were Uttanapad and Priyavrata. Because of them were descendant of a planetary expansion of Vasudeva, the supreme personality of Godhead. They were very competent to rule the universe, to maintain and protect the citizens. King Uttanapada had 2 queens named Suniti and Suruchi. Suruchi was more dear to the king. Suniti, who had a son named Dhruva, was not his favorite. Once upon a time, King Uttanapada was petting the son of Suruchi, Uttama, placing him on his lap. Dhruva Maharaj was also trying to get on the king's lap, but the king did not very much welcome him. While the child Dhruva Maharaj was trying to get on the lap of his father, Suruchi, his stepmother, became very envious of the child. With great pride, she began to speak so as to be heard by the king himself. Queen Suruchi told Dhruva Maharaj, My dear child, you do not deserve to sit on the throne or on the lap of the king. Surely you are also the son of the king, but because you did not take your birth from my womb, you are not qualified to sit on your father's lap. Thank you, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mati. Hare Krishna. Yeah, whenever you're ready, Krishna Prabhu, you can start, Prabhu.
Yeah, sure, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Are you able to hear, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, it's clear, Prabhu. Yeah.
Okay. I see that poor audio quality. So,
Okay.
thank you, Prabhu. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining today's Bhagavatam session. Thank you, Hema Mataji, for reading today's section translations. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 8. Dhruva Maharaj leaves home for the forest. Start with prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschapta Deshatarani. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today we are reading a new chapter, chapter 8. Dhruva Maharaj leaves home for the forest. So just to give a background, this so we just completed the pastime of Daksha Yajna in the previous chapters. So where when Daksha is performing the Yajna, Mother Sachi wanted to attend. Lord Shiva warned her not to attend because Daksha is envious and there is no invitation. But Mother Sachi attended the program to convince her father about the exalted position of Lord Shiva and also enlighten him not to offend these great Vaishnavas like Lord Shiva, like that. But when she is unable to convince, but and seeing the offenses that has been done towards Lord Shiva, she leaves the body. And this news reached to Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva he became very angry, and he created this powerful demon Veerabhadra, and along with the other Lord Shiva's followers, they all go and destroyed the Daksha Yajna and killed Daksha and injured many demigods. So, and then they all went to the Lord Brahma, and Brahma chastised them. Brahma took all of them to Lord Shiva, and they all glorified Lord Shiva with many praise. And in the last chapter, we saw that Maitreya Muni narrating how Lord Shiva, after hearing all the prayers of Lord Brahma and demigods, so he mentions that he did not take the offense that or the activity that has done by the Daksha as an offense, but to put them in a right path, he punished them. But later Lord Shiva told how how he resolved the whole conflict or situation by going to the Yajna arena, reviving Daksha to life by putting the goat head and helping all the injuries of the demigods to be recovered, like that. And then we heard in the last chapter how when Daksha started Yajna with devotion and love for Lord Vishnu, and we heard how Lord Vishnu appeared on Garuda, and then all the demigods, their wives, and the sages, so everyone glorified Lord Vishnu with many wonderful prayers. And then Daksha continued and completed the Yajna under the guidance of Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. So after that, everyone left that place. And Maitreya Muni also mentioned that Mother Sachi, who left the body, she also reappeared as the daughter of Himalaya and Manaka, like that. So in this chapter, we'll hear Maitreya Muni narrating, just a high level, the dynasty of Swayambhu Manu to his sons. And especially he talks about the pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj. In this chapter, how little Dhruva was insulted by his stepmother, Surichi, and he became upset. And then he goes to forest as suggested by his mother to perform tapasya to get the greater kingdom than his father. And this news reached to Narada Muni, and Narada Muni goes and tests Dhruva's determination by saying that, hey, you are a very small boy, and it's a playtime, not for the severe tapasya. But seeing the determination of Dhruva, Narada Muni initiates him with the mantra of Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So then we will hear how Dhruva Maharaj performs the severe austerity. At the same time, while Dhruva Maharaj is doing the severe austerity in the palace, how Uttanapada regretting for his mistake, and then Narada Muni pacifies him like that. So today we'll go through the first section, the slokas 1 and 11, 1 to 11. So in the first sloka, we see that Maitreya Muni is mentioning about the great sons of Lord Brahma, like the 4 Kumars headed by Sanaka, Narada, Raghu, Hamsa, Aruniyati. These are these sons of Lord Brahma are very great personalities, exalted. They did not marry at all, and they became Urdhvareta, or Naistika Brahmachari. And Prabhupada mentions in the purport that this system of Brahmacharya is there from the beginning of this universe creation, from the Lord Brahma's time. Especially some of the male personalities, they do not marry at all, and they live as a Naistika Brahmacharis. And we see that here they are called as Urdhvareta because they don't discharge their semen downwards. So instead, they uplift their semen towards the brain with their deep devotion or through the yogic powers. So they uplift the semen to the brain. So when that's called Urdhvareta. But when they uplift the semen to the towards the uplifted towards the brain, so the memory power will be very sharpened. Not only that, their lifespan is also increased. So Prabhupada mentions that this semen is very important, very valuable for both spiritual and material. So the brain becomes sharp and the body becomes robust, and because the brain is nourished, so the memory is increased, and their confidence, determination. So all these things are increased by just simply performing as the Brahmacharya system, being Naistik Brahmacharya. On the spiritual side, if one simply keeps himself a pure Brahmachari, not discharging the semen, so due to that, after leaving their body, they can go to Satyaloka, so the Brahmaloka. So that is the power and importance of the semen. So, and the reason that Maitreya Muni is mentioning, they are all, they did not live at home, they are Urdhvareta, or Naistik Brahmacharis, because Maitreya Muni wants to mention here, point out that since these personalities are not married at all, or not discharged the semen even one time, so there is no point of, there is no question of having a descendants. So there is no question of narrating the history of their descendants because they don't have any descendants. So in the next sloka, Maitreya Muni is narrating about the other sons of Lord Brahma who are not exalted, instead who are sinful. So they are irreligion, and his name is falsity. And from their combination were born 2 demons named Damba and Maya, the cheating. And these 2 demons were taken by another demon called Niritti because he had no children. And Prabhupada mentions in the purport that the Adharma, the religion, is also son of Lord Brahma, and he married his sister, falsity. So this is the irreligion. Irreligion started like that. The beginning of the irreligion is the physical union between brother and sister. So that's Prabhupada mentions that wherever there is adharma, then there is a possibility of unnatural combination of physical union. And Prabhupada mentions that in the first sloka, we saw that Lord Brahma created exalted personalities. And in the second sloka, we see that Brahma has created sinful personalities. And one may think that, why Brahma is unfair. He created someone with great qualities and someone with bad qualities. So it's not Lord Brahma being unfair. It is one's own karma. So based on their previous karma, they will be appeared in the next life based on that previous karma. So Narada Muni or these great personalities, they led life in the previous life in a pious way. And also we see Narada Muni's previous life history. So he had a saintly association, he served the great devotees, and he, by their instruction, he practiced Krishna consciousness sincerely and severely. Now he appeared as a great devotee. So if one has performed good actions in the previous life, then they will get the good reactions. So they will have the good qualities, and they will have a better life even from the standards of the material life. So if somebody has done great bhakti in the previous life, then they will born as a great devotees. And somebody has done bad things in the previous life, then they have to suffer. So they will born with the bad qualities, or they were positioned in a suffering situation. So it's based on their karma. Karmana daiva netrana jantur dehopati. It's not like Lord Brahma's responsible. I mean, it's not Lord Brahma's being unfair. So to either both good karma or bad karma. Of course, good karma, if one has, at least they will have some better life. But still there is a suffering. If somebody has a bad karma, then they will go through a lot of suffering. So to burn both good and bad karma, so it is recommended one to take up the path of bhakti. So karmani niddhati chakintu bhakti bhaja. So when one does the bhakti yoga, then their both good, bad, and karmas will be burnt out. So in the next sloka, we see that the continuation of that creation. So from Dhamba and Maya were born greed and nikriti, or cunning. And the combination, from their combination, the kids came Krodha and Himsa. From their combination, Kali and Dukkuti, harsh speech. So we see that, so when a couple engages in physical union, especially unregulated physical union, then what kind of kids they can expect? The kids that they are going to come will have a bad qualities. They will not have a good qualities. So since they will not have good qualities, so they will cause distress to the parents. So, so it's going to be a trouble to the parents. So we heard in the previous Canto chapters also, like when Mother Diti pushed Kashyapa Muni to engage in a physical union in inappropriate time. So what kind of kids they got? They got two demonic personalities, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. So that's why it is recommended, any couple they want to plan for kids, so it's recommended to have their consciousness in a pure state. So especially chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra as many times as they can, and keep their consciousness in a peaceful and calm and in a good manner, so that the kids can be expected who are going to born with the good qualities. So when they have good qualities, they can give pleasure to the parents. Not only that, due to their devotion, advanced devotion, they can uplift the parents also into the devotion or advance in Krishna consciousness. So that's why it is very important, especially the couple who are planning for kids to be in Krishna consciousness. So in the fourth sloka, continuation of that, the Kali and Has, from their combination born Mrityu, Bhiti, and from their combination Yatana and Niraya, excessive pain and hell. So, and Prabhupada mentions that people who are attached to the material things, they are always afraid, because they're fearful. Whatever they have, so they may lose it, like money or properties or the name and fame, or even the dear ones, like the family members or friends, relatives, like that. So they're all fearful because they're attached to the bodily things. And due to that, they can't lead the peaceful life. But a pure devotee who is surrendered to Krishna, so they don't have any fear. That's what Lord Shiva tells to Mother Parvati, like Narayana Parasarve Nakutaschana Bibhati. So they don't have any fear because they have taken up Krishna consciousness and they derive a great pleasure. Instead, they're very happy. Tushyanticha Ramanticha, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So they derive great blissful and pleasure. But if somebody is leading the sinful life, then they are taken to the hellish planet. And they'll go through the excessive pain and they'll be taken to hellish planet. And in the last canto, we heard from Kapila Bhagavan teachings how Yamadutas takes the living entity after leaving the body, who is very sinful, performed sinful activities. While taking them to the hellish planet also, there is a lot of suffering to that conditioned living entity. And when they are taken into the hellish planet, and there are various types of punishments which are very horrible and great suffering. So knowing that, so one should try not to indulge in sinful activities and utilize that time to perform the bhakti, Krishna consciousness, which would burn the even previous reactions. And in the text 5, Maitreya Muni is telling that he has explained the causes of devastation, and whoever hears these things, they attains piety and washes the sinful contamination from his soul. And Prabhupada mentions that all these things that were explained in the previous chapter, like the irreligion and falsity and their descendants, like bluffing, cheating, or greed, anger, cunning, all these things are the causes of devastation because they bring devastation only to the living entity who has these things. So, and a person, when one hears about these things and knowing that they will cause devastation, if he's a pious person, then he will correct whatever is these kind of sinful actions that they are doing, and he will lead a pious life and he will take up the Krishna consciousness, like Cheto Darpana Majjanam, like as Mahaprabhu mentioned that, he will start chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and clearing it out all his anarthas, and that would destroy his bad karma, and it will lead a peaceful life and happy life, even in this life. And then in the next sloka, we hear that Maitreya Muni is narrating to Vidura that he will describe the descendants of Swayambhu Manu. And Swayambhu Manu was born from the part of a plenary expansion of the Supreme Lord. So who is that part of the plenary expansion? Lord Brahma himself, because Swayambhu Manu is the son of Lord Brahma. And Prabhupada mentions that although Lord Brahma is Jiva Tattva, but he is empowered by Supreme Lord Krishna. So that's why he's called, he is mentioned here as the part of a plenary expansion. And in Brahma Samhita prayers, Lord Brahma himself tells, like, about himself, like, Baswanata Smasakaleshu Nijeshu Teja Swiyam Kiyat Prakatayati Apitadvatyatra Brahmaya Yesha Jagadanna Vidana Karta Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajam. Like how sun manifests a little portion of its light in the effulgent gems, like that. So similarly, Krishna also empowers Lord Brahma to perform the secondary creation. So he gave the service of secondary creation. So Lord Brahma is very powerful personalities. That post requires great qualities. So that's why sometimes when Krishna doesn't find a suitable living entity for that post, he himself expands and takes up that position and performs the secondary creation, because Lord Brahma's post is requires a great qualification. And Lord Brahma is the in charge of the mode of passion, such as Gunavatar also. So now Maitreya Muni is wanted to narrate the history or the life of Dhruva Maharaj. So he's coming to the that point. So in the text 7, Maitreya Muni is telling that Swayambhu Muni had two sons by his wife Satarupa, who were the Uttanapada and Tivrata. And here they are mentioned as a plenary expansion of Vasudeva. So because they were very competent to rule the universe and to protect the citizens. So these two personalities also empowered by the Supreme Lord Krishna to rule the universe and to maintain the universe and to protect the citizens. So there are many great personalities who were empowered by Supreme Lord Krishna, so to perform the various activities in this universe. So there, some of them are mentioned in Brahma Samhita prayer, like how Mother Durga was empowered by Lord Krishna, or Lord Ganesha, or Sun God, Lord Shiva, or Lord Brahma, like that. So in this text 8, Maitreya Muni started talking about one of the son of Swayambhu, Uttanapada, who had two queens, Suniti and Surichi. And we see that, Surichi is dear to Uttanapada, King Uttanapada. And Suniti is not that favorable. She had a son called Dhruva. And Prabhupada mentions in the purport that actually Priyavrata is the first son of Swayambhu Manu, and Uttanapada is the second son of Swayambhu Manu. But here Maitreya Muni is narrating the second son dynasty, Uttanapada. So because the reason Uttanapada had Dhruva Maharaj as one of his son, who is a very great devotee. So Maitreya Muni is very eager to narrate the pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj, because they are very attractive to the devotees. Not only that, from the Dhruva Maharaj's life and the history, so even for the general people, there are many lessons to be learned. So there are great points, instructive points, like how Dhruva Maharaj sincerely followed the instructions that were given by his guru, Narada Muni, and how he practiced very seriously, performed a severe austerity, which uplifted his devotion service in his heart for the Supreme Lord, and how he has implemented Yukta Vairagya in his life. Like, whatever the good reactions that he is getting, due to that he is getting a lot of opulence, name, pain. So how he has utilized that in the service of Krishna, and how he took a voluntary austerity to burn out all his bad reactions. So instead of they coming and giving suffering, he himself took the voluntary austerity to burn out the reactions. So because when they come to us, those reactions, it is great suffering. But if we take little step and little uncomfortability by taking up voluntary austerity, like waking up early and chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, or fasting on special days like Ekadasi or Janmashtami, and Gaura Purnima is coming, like that. So that would burn all our previous bad reactions. So then we don't need to go through too much suffering. So by hearing these activities of Dhruva Maharaj, one's faith will become strong, and one can be inspired to take up Krishna consciousness more sincerely and seriously. I'm talking to myself. So then in the next sloka, we hear that Uttanapada one time, so he one of the son of Surichi, Uttama, so he is sitting on his father Uttanapada's lap, and Uttanapada is patting him. So it's a natural affection of a father towards son. So then at that time, Dhruva Maharaj came, and he also wanted to get onto the lap of his father, Uttanapada. But we see that king did not welcome very much. And we see why the king did not welcome very much in the next sloka. And the 10th sloka, you see that here, Dhruva Maharaj is trying to get on the lap of his father, but Surichi, stepmother, she became envious of the child, and with great pride, she started speaking. And that words, she started speaking such a way that it will be heard by the king himself. So, and Prabhupada mentions that King Uttanapada is basically equally affectionate towards Dhruva or Uttama, even though they are sons of different queens. But here we see that he did not welcome Dhruva, the son of Suniti, very much, because his dear queen Surichi is there, and if he welcomes Dhruva in an equal manner with Uttama, then she might feel bad. So she might feel unhappy. So that's why he did not welcome Dhruva in a way in an equal way as Uttama. And knowing the feelings of the Uttanapadava, so Suruchi started speaking, with great pride. And we see that, these great personalities, Suruchi, even though she belongs to such an elevated society, but still she became envious of her stepwife's son, Dromaras. And also she has this great pride, being a favorite queen of Uttanapada, the king. And we heard in the last chapters of Srimad, how Daksha, though is the son of Lord Brahma, has the tendency of envious. And it was shown up towards Lord Shiva, who is a great Vaishnava. So, of course, these great personalities, sometimes Krishna puts them in that situation to teach a lesson for us, for the general people, that, how these anarthas causes a devastation or brings trouble to the people. And also how one should be very careful, even though one is progressing in the path of bhakti, but one should be very cautious because even though one goes into an exalted position, there is a possibility of these anarthas attacking. So that's why one should be very careful. So these are the lessons that Krishna is teaching through these great personalities. So not that we should look them in a negative manner or put them in a lower manner, thinking that I am better than these personalities, like that. Not like that. So it is a teaching or lesson for us. And then we see here in the last sloka for today that Surichi is telling to Domaras that so you do not deserve to sit on the throne or on the lap of the king. Though he is the son of the king, but because he did not took birth from her womb, so he is not qualified to sit on father's lap. So we see that in here she is too proud, being the favorite queen of the king. So that's why indirectly she is mentioning that so this Dromaras is the illegitimate son of the king because he has taken birth from the womb of other queen who is not favorite to the king. So this we see that one sometimes blinded by prideness, people can speak harshly, or people can speak some words which would bring destruction to them. So that's why one has to be very careful. So all these pastimes are the these instructions for a general person, like at least an insignificant person like me. So I have to learn from these pastimes how one should be very careful. Like many pastimes are mentioned in the scriptures. Like one of the pastimes, like how Indra fall down because he was very puffed up or pride. Like when one time when Durvas Muni was passing by and he saw Indra sitting on the elephant on his carrier, Airavatam, and Durvas Muni being affectionate to Indra, so pleased to offer a garland which is on his own neck. He took it on and gave it to Indra. But Indra, being puffed up, being in a high exalted position, so he's too proud. So he took the garland, but he did not give much respect to Durvas Muni or his garland. So he gave it to the Airavatam. And Airavatam, being an elephant animal, could not understand the value of that garland. So she threw it into the ground and crushed it with his legs. And this raised the angerness of Durvas Muni. And so he cursed Indra that all his opulence will be lost. He will become poverty stricken. See, blinded by pride, so Indra brought his own destruction because of that prideness. And soon we hear how Indra lost the position and kingdom in the battle with the demons. So that's why one should be very careful with these anarthas. So that's why Mahaprabhu says that one should be very humble. Even though one is progressing in the path of bhakti and elevated into the exalted position, but one should continue to be humble. And another thing Krishna mentions that this pride is a demonic quality. So Dambo Darpa Vimanascha, like that, this pride, arrogance, these are demonic qualities. And these demonic qualities will bring only destruction. They don't give any happiness. And Prabhupada mentions that they are the royal road to hell. So it will take one to the hell, which would give more suffering and a lot of suffering. So knowing all these things, so it is an instruction for us, or lessons, at least for myself, to implement how not to be proud. Of course, there is nothing to be proud also. So we should be humble and also practice sincerely and seriously the path of bhakti, so that our anarthas will be cleared out, slowly taken out, and then we can experience the unlimited happiness and bliss. So I'll pause it here. Thank you all for giving this opportunity. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Ancha kalpatarupyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
yeah.